Welcome to Mirror Domain's Movie News, your place for entertainment headlines, and indeed, we are a live news show for movie fans, where we talk about all the trending movie news headlines of the day. Deadpool 3, Beetlejuice 2, the Marvels producers guys, I don't know if the ability to not promote it is going to hurt the film. Is that the only reason why the Marvels may fail? I don't know. We'll take a look at it. And it is Tuesday, so guys, we will look at the weekend's box office report. None 2 box office because, well, I was away yesterday, so I couldn't make it a show yesterday. But I do want to take a look at those box office numbers. We start off today by taking a look at that Aquaman 2 teaser, but not really. And this is something that I've seen online where they're saying that, ooh, this is the official teaser. No, it's not. This is like the teaser for the teaser. In 4 days is when we get the official teaser. And I was looking at this, and some people are like, well, it just uses footage from the other movie. And it's like, guys, this is just the teaser for the teaser. This is nothing to get your feathers ruffled over just yet. Now, why am I saying this? There's a few things in here that does look a little bit new. That, like, you know, make it look like, okay, yeah, there's going to be some stuff in here that is from the actual Aquaman 2 movie. And like, yeah, he's like, I'm going to kill Aquaman. And it's like, okay, cool. Black Manta. That's fine. This suit here and this shot, some of it does look a little questionable, but we'll see that when it comes to the actual full teaser that gets released. This is not good. This is 1080p, guys, footage here. If I could bump it up any higher, I don't think it would help it. This is very Wonder Woman 1984 cheetah-looking visual effects. And I don't know what it is with movies these days with bad, and TV series with bad CGI. Guys, if you can't make it work, then don't do it. Don't show it. But James, it's just a minor character. And it's like, well, for God's sakes, it still looks terrible. If I were the director or producers, I'd be like, so it's not going to work. I guess we can't use that. I was like, but if somebody said that, we're still going to use it, it looks terrible. It looks awful. And I get on that bandwagon that it doesn't look polished. It doesn't look sharp, which is kind of head scratching because this movie it's done. It's in the can. There he's fighting with Manta or whatever. And this movie was supposed to come out a long while ago. As in fact, I think it was supposed to come out last year. It's just been kind of like sitting in the shelf. So yeah, while you get some more time, and they've gone back for some reshoots, it's just December 20th, in 4 days, right? Is that when we get the official one? Is that what I'm understanding here? I hope it works out for James Wan. The amount of reshoots this film got from the constant changing made to how the DCEU was moving forward is shocking. This looks great. Fingers crossed. Would really love to see the old DCU and the on a good note before the DC wave starts handing everything over. Last several projects have been failures. Yeah. It's I don't know. I think it's poised to bomb. That's the consensus, that the vibe that we're mostly all getting is that I don't know why though exactly. I can't put my finger on it. It is like the visual effects alone is not enough to make a movie completely bomb. It's got to be the story in there. It's not Amber Heard alone that's going to make Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom bomb. There's just seems to be the right culmination of maybe the producers not caring about the CGI. James Wan cares about the story. Jason Momoa cares about the character. there's just something else out there floating around this. It's just the end of this version of the DCU that we all are coming to understand is kind of like, well, if this is the last one, then why do we even need to bother watching this one? There's still that mentality out there, and I can understand that. I'm not. We'll wait till Thursday, and I will post an official trailer reaction for it when it comes out, because it is the end of the old DCU, which they should have just said is elsewhere world stuff. I don't get it. But the reason why I'm saying that this is not the official trailer, just some evidence here, guys. You go over to like the DCU site, and you don't see it there, right? So yeah. All right. So let's take a look at this story that I forgot to pull up here quickly. Okay. That being said, let's move on to the, it's Tuesday, guys. I'm sorry, we didn't do a show yesterday, but we will talk about the weekend's box office report. So let's get into it. And surprisingly, The Nun 2 did come at the number 1 spot, but how well? 32 million. So the top 5 of the weekend were The Nun 2 was number 1. Number 2 was The Equalizer 3. Really? Wow. Number 3 was My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3. Number 4 was Joanne, and number 5 was Barbie. So Barbie is starting to fade out of the top 5 now, and that's fine. It's like 8 weeks. It's 2 months now, guys, that Barbie's been out. And it's still hanging in there in the 5th spot. That's fine. I forgot that My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3 was coming out this weekend, so I forgot to put that in the forecast. I knew that Joanne was. And actually, I may end up seeing Joanne later today. It's 2 hours and 47 minutes, so I don't know about that though. I just kind of want to relax today. The Nun 2 though, 32.6 domestically, 55 internationally, 88.1 million worldwide on a budget of, well, around 38 million was the budget. Oh, well, that's fantastic then. It's more than doubled it. And yeah, we're going to get a Nun 3 for sure. And I really, I've been sitting on this one. I gave it a 5.5 in my formal review, but I'm thinking story-wise after, maybe could have bumped it up to a 6. There's things about it, the acting in it is good, and Tessa, I call her Tessa, I forget. I'll look at some interviews on her pronouncing her own name. It could be Tessa, and if I am butchering that name, I'm sorry. But she's fantastic in it, and if it's made that much of a turnaround, where it's only like 38 million and makes 88 plus on the opening weekend, and this is only the opening weekend, there's going to be a Nun 3. And what was it? Angry Joe posted an interesting question. We've been watching these movies about the nun, Valak, right? We assume that the title refers to Valak. But what if it's about Sister Irene as the nun? It could mean there's a duality there, what the title could reveal, right? And maybe I said this, I would watch more with her going off and doing other cases. It doesn't have to always be about Valak. I understand people would be expecting that for the third film, but maybe you can just start off with that. Because I know James Wan, he wanted to tie the Nun franchise here back into the Conjuring universe. Because doesn't Valak die in Conjuring 2? I need to rewatch that one, right? But he wants to have it come around full circle. But because of that little ambiguity there about the title, that the movie could be also referring to Sister Irene. And with Storm Reed there, maybe it comes along with some other cases. I'd be on board for that. Sister Irene right there. there's just something when you're watching her, the way that she just the camera like zooms in on her face and she's able to convey certain emotions just by certain looks. You could start the third movie with her kind of like passing the torch back into the Conjuring universe, the Valak character back to the Conjuring universe, but then she goes on to do another case. And then you could just build on that Nun franchise with her. Like, yeah, that's the way I would do it. But I'm starting to think more and more that I'm like, the Nun 2 did have some value to it. It's not a terrible film. And it's well earned, 88.1 million worldwide. So good for that. This weekend, it is going to run into a bigger film. I'm just going to pull up a Thursday's release because what are we seeing Thursday? Not After Everything. A Haunting in Venice. Yeah, that's what it was. Haunting in Venice opens up this week. And that's going to be number one, I believe. I think. That's that Kenneth Branagh one. So, yeah. Equalizer 3. Hanging in there. Now, I saw earlier reports that My Big Fat Greek Wedding was number 2 for a little while there. But then, of course, things got adjusted a little bit. So Equalizer 3 coming down. The second spot's fine. My Big Fat Greek Wedding, though, 12 million worldwide. Smaller budget. All of the Big Fat Greek Weddings were all smaller budgets. That's why when the first one blew up, it was kind of like the scenario of like, we only made this for 7 million and it's made like 90 million plus or something like that, right? Because it was a smaller indie project. 2002. Oh yeah, it made over 368, right? So it's kind of like, yeah, that kind of turnaround demands sequels on a budget of 5 million. So yeah, it's more than 60, 70 times the amount that is made, right? So good for that. I never watched any of the Big Fat Greek Weddings. Um, so I don't have any stake in that. Obviously, that's lower fare than what the other ones did. It's just because it's too long. It's like 22 years since the first one. All right, let's talk about Jawan there in the fourth spot, opening up in the fourth spot there. A Hindi film. High octane action, which outlines the emotional journey of a man who is set to rectify the wrongs in society. 7.4 domestically. Now, it doesn't have any international numbers. And this is what I don't like about Box Office Mojo, that it doesn't seem to incorporate a lot of India's numbers, like how many crore it makes. I think it's kind of like, I don't know if they just get confused in doing the exchange rate to calculation. I don't know why it's that hard, but it shouldn't be to add into the international numbers. Um, as I said, it is Cheap Tuesday, so I'm kind of like this close. There's a 5:30 showing of it. I am considering it for sure. Let's pull up some, not the Twitch chat. I want to pull up the YouTube chat. There we go. Pfeiffer says Joanne is a roller coaster film, super fun. Okay, so yeah, there's a case there to be made for sure. Tias Farmiga and Vera Farmiga combined forces. That would be cool because I like what the nun. This is something that stays with you, and you're like, well, this is kind of a really cool setup because they are sisters in real life, right? Tessa and Vera, but they both have the same abilities in that universe of being able to have that medium psychic ability to see spirits and stuff like that. And I like that. There's something there that could be handled to get another story out of it for sure. I'm looking forward to Dumb Money 2023 in theaters this Friday. Dumb Money, is it out this weekend? Dumb Money. That's that one with Paul Dano, right? No, I'm not seeing it there. Let's see. This one may have it. Haunting in Venice. Equalizer 3. Dreamgirl 2. Study. Not seeing Dumb Money. The Retirement Plan. I don't even know what the heck that is. The Retirement Plan. Huh. What is the Retirement Plan? That, I guess, also comes out this week. Starring to be announced. What the heck is that then, guys? Oh, mercy. James, you can do better than that. You're bringing in a movie that you're not telling anybody about. You can't even tell me who was in the cast. Nicolas Cage, Ron Perlman, Jackie Earle Haley. The Retirement Plan, action, adventure comedy. Ashley and her daughter turn to Matt, her estranged beach bum father, to escape a ruthless crime boss. Well, that's interesting. I hope Ron Perlman's the ruthless crime boss. Nicolas Cage. Fascinating. Or is Nicolas Cage the crime boss? No, doesn't look like it. Maybe Jackie Earle Haley's the crime boss. Wow. Ashley Greene. Jackie Earle Haley is a good actor. And his shot at trying to do Freddy Krueger was fine, but yeah, they need to revamp that somehow. Fascinating. Might have to take that in on a matinee as well. Pfeiffer says Joanne's box office collection crosses 574 crore. Okay, good. In 5 days, 77 million US. Yeah. Have you checked out the Thanksgiving horror official teaser? Yeah, we looked at that last week, Chris. We looked at that last week. Any other observations quickly off the top here? Not really. Just some smaller stuff there. But I wanted to know where the Nun landed. The Haunting in Venice will probably make somewhere around the same 30 million-ish this weekend. So expect Nun 2 to be chopped in about half, 15 or so. Yeah, and then depending on if that big money or that Retirement Plan is not going to be there, but it could crack the top 5 with around 6 to 8 million, I would think. Maybe the Retirement Plan's got enough, but there's just, I didn't know what it was until today, until I looked it up. So it's kind of like there's no marketing for it. I didn't see any trailers for it in any of the movies that I've been seeing. So it's kind of like, wow, good job, guys. Anyway, it'll come and go. Have you seen the Goosebumps Don't Blink small teaser? James, is going to be a TV series reboot. Goosebumps? No, I never watched Goosebumps, so I wasn't familiar with it. But we'll take a look at it maybe during the hit or miss headlines. All right, let's get back into the movie news. The Marvels, the director, producers, and they're saying the director fears that the MCU could suffer from its restricted promotion. You know, I was like, I've got nothing against concept of Captain Marvel. I just didn't really like the first movie, and I was looking at this costume of hers. Why is it so dark and drab? And the other ones are like look sharp, but hers is like the muted colors, like the maroon is like really dark, right? I don't get that. Is it to highlight Brie Larson's like face area and stuff? Like she's like, it's interesting. But yeah, the point is well taken that because of the strikes going on and stuff, the actors won't be able to go out and promote the film. It does give you pause, but there have been other movies that have come out now that have done well. We just saw one with The Nun 2. The actors haven't been able to go out and promote that, and that made 88 million worldwide. That's on its opening weekend, and that's really good. The Marvels, it really depends on the movie, guys. If the movie's good, people will talk about it. People will say, hey, you got to go check this thing out, man. It's worthwhile. So So let's just take a look at the quote here from the director and see what's going on. She told the Abbotsford News, Nia DaCosta directs, I'm hoping I'm not promoting the movie by myself. No one's there to see me either. They're going to be like, where's Brie Larson? Uh, she went on to say, everything that's happening in an existential search that our industry is doing, it won't be solved in one round of negotiations. But I'm hoping that the studios can end the strike soon and get us all back to work for them. Yeah, so she's got positive. And then, yeah, see, this costume is a little bit more brighter than whatever the heck that thing is. I don't know. I don't know. It's a minor quip, and that's not going to be something that's going to make or break the movie. It's going to be the concept of, is the story well executed, right? Nia DaCosta did the reboot of the last Candyman, right? So I didn't mind that. Actually, we did a watch along, but it got chopped up by YouTube. It's really, that one sucked. That one hurt me. That hurt my feelings that they did that. I tried muting everything, and eventually they're just like, no, we're cutting that part out. And it's like, for God's sakes. Anyway, it's not going to be minor things like the costumes or like could be bad dialogue in there that could ruin it. But it's a hokey story premise to start out with, that they bounce around personality wise from body to body, right? Whenever they use their powers, right? That's a far out there concept. So then when you actually bring it into the MCU with superhero characters, can it work? The execution, it's going to be all on the execution of that story. If it's too much, then people will be turning their noses up at it, just like they did with Thor, Love and Thunder. November 10th is when this comes out. The caution, the doubts, like are there, but hopefully it's good. That's all you can hope for, is like, please be good, please be good. We'll see. We'll talk more about the strikes and stuff as the days goes on. That's the days in the week here go on. Beetlejuice 2. Tim Burton says Beetlejuice 2 was 99% done just before the SAG-AFTRA strike hit. Beetlejuice was on hold as the actors are on strike. That would suck. 99%. What does that mean? You got like less than a week left to finish shooting? Yeah, that would be very irritating, especially if you got a hot set where you got to, like, you're on hiatus now for months, and the set, you can't just leave the set like that. You got to move it, and then you're going to have to set everything back up. It'd be almost worthwhile just to reshoot all of those scenes in that set once you've reset the set, right? It's that kind of thing. There'll be pickups for Beetlejuice 2 and stuff like that. So I was a little bit shocked by this headline, though, that saying that it was 99% done. I was like, oh, okay, well, that's cool. Good. That means progress is made. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that a lot of it, Tim Burton wants to rely on the old style of using props, prosthetics, and not having like CGI splashed all over the place. If there's some practical effects that can be used, he wants to do that. And actually, the quotes that we heard from Michael Keaton were that it was refreshing to see that still being like the approach, right? Because nowadays it's kind of like, well, we need a man sitting beside him with a shrunken head. We'll just put it in CGI. It's like, no, why? Just do it like this. It's creepy. It's offsetting. Anyway, quote, after the 99% done quote, he says, I feel grateful we got what we got. Literally, it was the day and a half. It was a day and a half, and we know what we have to do. It was 99% done. So, yeah, that's really frustrating. A day and a half. That's all the work that needed to be done. And I wish there were considerations for that, because when the SAG rules came down for the strike, like they hand that down to the union members and stuff. It's like, here are the rules of what you can and can't do. You can't post it on social media. You can't do this. You can't give a quote. But in those rules, I'm sure that there were stipulations that could have been made that, hey, if you've got a day left to shoot on your project for principal photography and then you're done, you're allowed to finish that day and a half. It doesn't have to be like a hard cutoff line. And I understand that, yes, the studio would turn around and say, well, what about 2.5 days left? What about three? What about I only got a week left. Now, there could be production problems in that week that could extend out perhaps another week after that. And then they would try to use that as kind of like a wedge to keep that door open. I understand that concern. But like for a day and a half left of shooting, I think there could have been some wiggle room for like, okay, finish it up, wrap it up, and then, yeah. Anyway, it's minor. It's done. That's just the course that's been taken. We can't really complain about it now anyway. Beetlejuice 2 allowed Tim Burton to go back to the basics. Yeah, talking about using like uh, traditional styles of visual effects and stuff. Go back to the basics. Quote, he said, "That's why it's hard for me to watch the movies afterwards because I still feel the emotional whatever of it. I don't get a release from that, but I do enjoy all the people I've worked with on this Fast One Beetlejuice 2. I really enjoyed it." He added, "I tried to strip everything and go back to the basics of working with good people and actors and puppets. It was kind of like going back to why I like making movies." And that's interesting. Oh, well, that's good to hear also, because if you know that at least he's very passionate about it. Tim Burton is an artistic dude. He's got a very particular style. Some people like it, some people don't, but whatever. I still respect the fact that you can tell when you're watching a Tim Burton movie. That's a Tim Burton movie. Sam Raimi movie. You can tell there's very Sam Raimi isms in there. Guillermo del Toro, um, Nicholas Winding Refn, that kind of thing. You can tell that you're watching a Wes Anderson movie. Wes Anderson for sure, right? Arglass says the danger that Marvel's could be too slapstick with the interchanging of the characters and their powers. I'll give it a watch regardless. Well, yeah. Well, for me, I'll be watching mostly because of Brie Larson, right? They're making a horror movie called The Jester. You keep on talking about this Jester thing. We'll take a look at it during Hit or Miss. Tim Burton is the last of the great goths. Yeah, the goth style. And I appreciate that. I do. Um, Release date wise, Beetlejuice 2, I think, is still slated for sometime next year, September 2024. But if they, since they will have to go back for reshoots and stuff, the good thing about doing practical effects, though, is that the the window of post production time is shrunk down, right? You don't have to be waiting for visual effects houses to complete work on shots, right? So that's a bonus. All right, what's next? Deadpool 3. Deadpool 3. Let's take a look. Let's talk about this. Deadpool 3 director Sean Levy addresses crazy cameo rumors. Yeah, there's been a lot of cameo rumors. Uh, because they're like, I saw an article posted up, well, if all these people are coming back from the old X-Men universe, let's take a look at all the X-Men movies and look at the possibilities of who would you like to see come back. And it's like, guys, come on here. I know it's a fun game, but it'll be just too bloated, right? I like the cameo style of like in Deadpool 2, where it was just like he's walking down the mansion there and the door opens and you see in the background all of the James McAvoy cast X-Men in the background. They don't say anything, you just see them, and it was kind of like, oh, that kind of a cameo to bring in a bunch of people, that's fun. But not when they're like a bunch of people that have to have speaking parts or have some kind of input into the story. That gets a bit much. Like, yeah. Anyway, I'm still like Deadpool 3 is still one of my most anticipated. Levi or Levy, Levy, right? Quote, like the rest of the world, I've waited 2 decades to see Wolverine in a whole movie with Deadpool, and I don't know if this is our last shot at Wolverine on screen, so I was going to make goddamn sure that we get old yellow and blue just once. And that's what we get it right. and that we get it right. It also helps that I'm making this movie within the MCU, so I have access to an army of the nerdiest nerds available to a Marvel project. So he's saying that he's got the window open to bring in cameos. And Sean Levy, uh, he's worked with Ryan Reynolds, obviously, in other projects, so it's kind of like the Adam Project was also really good. So I trust in him to bring this project home. I think it's going to be good. And yeah, Fantastic Four, I don't think will be in there. They're not introducing the Fantastic Four in Deadpool 3, but we are getting the costume, and I think that's going to be kind of cool. The classic costume. Negasonic Teenage Warhead must have a bigger role in Deadpool 3, or we riot. If rumors are to be believed, Deadpool 3 will cameo heavy for laughs and one-liners. Well, that'll be fine. Let me pull up the IMDb for Deadpool 3 and see if there's like this one you would have to take with a grain of salt because IMDb is not exactly concrete sometimes. So let's see who's confirmed. Matthew McFadden, Marina Baccarin, Hugh Jackman. Jennifer Garner is confirmed. We know that. Brianna Hildebrand as Negasonic Teenage Warhead is confirmed. Yeah, I would like to see more of her. Stefan Kapakits, Colossus, Blind Al. So not many people confirmed. Who's this guy? The Last Voyage of the Demeter. He was in that. Okay. The voice of Colossus. But yeah, I've seen other people post all of these. Well, what if this person's in Deadpool 3? It's a fun game, but I don't know. I prefer to talk about the actual confirmations. Does Hellboy the Crooked Man movie have a release date yet? Senior James? Yeah, we'll talk about that in just a little bit. The Hellboy stuff. We're getting there. I'll try to get through some of these stories a little bit quicker. Sorry, my apologies. Wonka director praises Timothée Chalamet's singing voice, says the movie isn't a musical though. Oh, okay. Well, I was under the impression that it was. I thought that Wonka was a musical, but I guess not. Now, in the older Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with like the very first one in the 60s version, he did sing with Gene Wilder. Like he did sing a few times, but it wasn't a musical. So maybe it's like that, and that's fine. So he says, quote, there's quite a range because it does go from a couple of bigger showstopper-y sort of things to moments of real pure emotion, Paul King said about Chalamet. In a new interview with Total Film, he says, quote, he's got a beautiful singing voice. The person it reminded me was of Bing Crosby. There's quite a range because it goes from a bigger couple showstopper-y sort of things to moments of real pure emotion, and he can do all of that. I'm going to sound like a crazed fan. Well, I don't doubt Chalamet's talent. I don't. It's hard. Even in movies like Bones and All, where I'm like, what the heck is this, guys? He's still delivering a fine performance, and I am looking forward to Doom Part 2 for sure, because it looks like he's got that ability to do the big, huge tentpole films like Wonka, but then he can also go back and do the smaller indie films, and bring solid performance. He's, of course, we know that he has taken a page from the Leonardo DiCaprio playbook because Leo counseled him, guided him, mentored him in career paths of saying, stay away from projects like this, don't do that, look for that contrast between the big productions to like the smaller ones to keep your tools sharp. And you couldn't have gotten a better mentor than Leo in that case, right? So there's that's just like cool things to know, right? About Timothée Chalamet. Anyway, The Oompa Loompa sing-along, sing a lot in the book, and Doll always uses poetry, King explained. But I don't want it to just become a musical where people are singing dialogue to each other for no discernible reason. I felt like it was more like a movie with songs than a musical. Well, yeah, that's fine. Wonka still comes out this year, guys. December, I believe, right? Wonka? Let me just pull up that release date. December 15th. I accidentally forgot the A at the end of Wonka. And I was looking at some of the headlines that have pulled up. That's why sometimes I don't let you guys see the Google page when I'm Googling it. So I was like, wank release date. Oh, you didn't want to see what was pulling up there. Oh, yeah, it can be a little bit embarrassing sometimes, but it is what it is. All right. So September or December 15th for Wonka. Looking forward to it. All right. Oh, I forgot about this story. Damn. We'll have to put that in hit or miss. All right. Let's talk about some festival headlines. Venice Film Festival, Toronto Film Festival is going right now. Poor things, Willem Dafoe is heartbroken. He isn't able to promote the film at the Venice Film Festival. And that, yeah. Poor things, Yorgos Lanthimos, Frankenstein kind of story. Willem Dafoe is somebody who likes to go out and do the tours. He is somebody that likes to talk about the films to help promote and stuff. He's a great dude, right? Willem Dafoe. Um, yeah, so it's kind of a bummer that if you don't have a producer tie-in title with as an actor, then you're not allowed. You're supposed to not promote it, right? So that's why sometimes you do see things like Jessica Chastain at these things promoting it, because she does have a tie-in producers as an executive producer that allows her to be there to promote it. Could that ever be extended to as a loophole? I don't think so. You can't put the entire cast as extended producers just to get by that, right? That'll be frowned upon, and that loophole would be closed rather quickly. But anyway, Defoe expresses feelings having to be sidelined. Quote, to be in Venice with 3 films and not be able to go broke my heart. But then I thought, it's just because you want to have a good time. I live in Italy and it's exciting to see friends and it's exciting to get dressed up. Does the film fly or not in real time? That's fun. Yeah, to see it with people. Poor things. Emma Stone, I'm really looking forward to seeing her in this. It's going to be very, very out there for her. I want to see her stretch and go to these dark places with it. Yeah. But the point is well taken. What's next? Things are getting picked up at these festivals. Woman of the Hour was at TIFF, and now it's been picked up by Netflix, and that's cool. So what's this about? Anna Kendrick's directorial debut about dating game serial killer was bought by Netflix, and that's good. So if it's going to be on Netflix, we may have to do a full live watch along for this. I am an Anna Kendrick fan. I like her acting. Now that she's directing, I think that is absolutely inspirational. Rob Delaney, they must have built him a Jack's arm. Wonka is whimsical. Hey, James, are you going to still be posting your live reaction for Ahsoka episode 5 today? Or is it going to be a different day? Well, we do it on Wednesdays. We do Ahsoka on Wednesdays because it doesn't come out till like 9 p.m. today. So, yeah, we can talk about that in just a minute. I watched the Card Counter Oscar Isaacs on Netflix. It was a strange movie. Willem Dafoe had a small part in it. Oh, really? Interesting. But yeah, Anna Kendrick's The Dating Game Serial Killer. It's got an interesting backstory to it because this movie had a different director to start. And then Anna Kendrick was attached to be in it to star as Cheryl Bradshaw. But then something happened behind the scenes. I I can't speculate what with the original director, but the original director ended up leaving the project. Probably they say due to the creative differences, and then somehow she was like, "Well, I'm here. I wouldn't mind doing it. Let's do it." I'm pretty sure that that's the way that it went. Woman of the Hour. Because she was passionate about the project, right? Um, yeah, that's a tiff. Yeah, and that's part of the story about the original director. I think they probably want to bury. They don't want people talking about that because they want to highlight um, Anna Kendrick and they want to highlight the property. Was it Tali Shapiro? Shapiro? Was that the original director? Or no? I don't know. Somebody. We did do stories about it. I do remember it. But anyway, I'm looking forward to Anna Kendrick uh, doing this. And if it's going to be on Netflix, they acquired it for an estimated 11 million. Hmm. According to Deadline, the plot, yeah, we know the plot about a stranger than fiction story of a young woman who was actually won a date on the dating game with a man who turned out to be a notorious serial killer. Contestant Cheryl Bradshaw, played by Kendrick, yeah, chose the killer, but he turned out to be such a creepy stalker that she never went on a date. Yeah, so um, there's some interesting subject matter there for sure that could be turned into a full-time story. I watched having my breakfast. Oh, good for you, Chris. So yeah, talking about Ahsoka, what can you find here on Mirror Domains? I know this is a little bit late, but whatever. Yeah, my review for The Nun 2 is up right now, guys. Go check that out. We do other stories of like Taylor Swift. My ranked videos is still up there for August. Hey, we're almost halfway through September. My God. Trailer reactions for Godzilla -1, reviews for Equalizer 3, ranked for Big Wreck Get to Know Me episode. I did, and I listened to that recently on my train ride into Toronto. I have to tweak around a little bit with that because I'm not exactly happy with the spacing of the first couple of songs. I'll tweak it a little bit. Episode 3 and 4 of Ahsoka are up on the channel right now. Tomorrow morning, we will be watching episode 5. And of course, then you know that we do movie news there. Yeah, I was listening to it, and I just have to move it around a little bit so that it. I was actually pleasantly surprised that for the bulk of that Big Wreck playlist, a lot of the songs do bleed into the next song rather well. Some of them are just a little too abrupt. It's kind of like it ends on a nice quiet note, and then all of a sudden, like it starts off with another quieter one. It's like, okay, no, I'll fix it. I'll tweak it, and don't worry, it'll be fine. It still listens pretty much well. Hellboy. Hellboy Crooked Man. Let's talk about this. Hellboy, the Crooked Man. Ketchup Entertainment snags the rights to the latest reboot. Ketchup Entertainment acquires the rights. So yeah, this movie is in the can. It's all done, right? So fans eager to give Hellboy a silver screen rejoice. Ketchup Entertainment snagged the rights from Millennium Media. To Millennium Media. Sorry. Jack Hesse is going to be the new Hellboy, and it's a smaller budget film. This guy was like the big bad guy in the TV series The Strain. So we got the distributor now, according to the local legend. Yeah, some story about him going to find something in the first settlers of the Appalachian Mountains in Virginia. The Crooked Man. He built his house in the area of the hurricane. He was one of the worst men in his lifetime, amassing the fortune from the misery of others, stirring conflict between his fellow settlers and native tribes. He sold liquor and guns to both sides. Yeah, however, because of his impressive record of sin, the devil sent Whitkin's back to the moral world as a demonic soul collector. And then he goes up against Hellboy, right? It's a very interesting premise. So a bad dude, yeah, gets hanged for his crimes. And then, yeah, I dig it. And then Hellboy has to come get retribution. So I am not seeing a release date for this. At a time when content is never more in demand, it's exciting to partner with a group who is not only passionate about movies, but who are also stepping up to distribute the types of commercial films that we believe audiences crave. Despite all of the changes in the marketplace, it's refreshing to start building a pipeline with Ketchup, and we are excited to build upon this first film together. I'm not seeing a release date for it, but at least now that they've acquired the rights to distribute it, I'm sure that something will get announced soon. I thought, plus this, what's going on with strikes doesn't help. 2024 is what the IMDb is saying, so tentatively 2024. And that's about right, because as I said, the movie is in the can. It's pretty much all done. Liam McNamara is in this. Smaller film. And this is how you have to do it. Because Hellboy has never been big in box office returns. So you got to keep the smaller budget, keep the story smaller. And that's how you do that, by keeping the budget is smaller, by keeping the story smaller and contained, right? For sure. All right. Next, The Crow. Let's talk about that. We know The Crow just got its distributor. So The Crow reboot is, what was it, Lionsgate picked that up. So it's good to see that momentum is happening here. But this is interesting. Producer Sam Pressman says that the film is kind of an anti-Marvel film. Really? Why does it have to be that? And talks honoring his father's legacy. His father's legacy. What? 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 His son, profile producer Ed Pressman. Apparently, this will blow people away. Okay, well, he wanted to make it as a tribute to his father. That's respectable. Got nothing against that. Pressman tells Deadline, The Crow has been a very central and integral part of our company, and I'm really proud of the work that has been done. I think the movie is just about to blow people away. Our partners want to approach it in a very 360 way, whether it be video games, an animated series, or a universe, but it's got this cosmic legacy that can be expanded upon, that we can expand beyond a singular story. Yeah. We're finally at a point where we can explore those other avenues because it's such a unique property in that it's not a studio film. It's not a Marvel film. It's kind of an anti-Marvel film. Well, if you're talking about making it an expanded universe and with other properties tied into it, how is that exactly anti-Marvel? I don't understand that. I have the highest hopes for that, and I really love that what Molly Hassel has done in pushing it up the hill, and Rupert Sanders is such a visionary. Rupert Sanders is the director, right? So, yeah. Then he goes on to talk about his father. But now the Crow reboot, Bill Skarsgård, Lionsgate are getting behind this. Producers making some weird quotes, though. It gives me a little bit pause, a little anticlimactic there, but it's kind of like, what are you talking about? Just don't turn it into the endless sequels of, ooh, another person comes back from the dead for retribution. They got the Crow's powers now. It's kind of like there's something there that you got to spin it so that it just doesn't become the rehash and rehash. Maybe he doesn't have to take out the big guy in the first movie. He just starts to he takes out one of the members of the people that came and killed him and his wife, right? He doesn't have to go after Top Dollar in this film, perhaps, right? or add an element to it where it just evolves. Like, yeah, I thought I was just coming back to have revenge, but add another more tragic element to it. There's things that could be done. I could, yeah, there's definitely for sure. I get that, but what do you guys think about that quote? Anti-Marvel, the Crow. Doesn't quite sit well exactly with me, but we'll see where it goes. I do like the property. Our Glass Viking says, blow people away is a bad choice of words given that brand. Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, what happened to Brandon Lee? Yeah. Chris Schober says, but I thought Ahsoka season 1, episode 1 is being aired today, isn't it, James? Well, they've been coming out at 9 p.m. on Tuesdays. That's what Ahsoka has been moved to. And usually it came out at midnight, so it was like 3 p.m. my time when it used to come out. But they moved it so that it comes out 9 p.m., which is still midnight my time. It's just easier for me to get up tomorrow morning and shoot the episode 5 watch along. And I'll tell you the truth about this, guys. I'm not overly all that excited. I'm curious, but I don't have that same kind of like, remember when we were watching like The Last of Us or House of the Dragon, where it's kind of like, I can't wait till next week to see what happens. And you're like, I want to know. It's not like that for me with Ahsoka. It's kind of like, I'm curious, but I'm not like, oh, are we going to see Anakin more now? And a lot of that was due to that short that I published about the CGI of Anakin. I was like, we'll see what happens. All right, so I want to look up, what was that movie that you were talking about, Chris Schober? The Jackal or something? The Jester. Let me just take a look at that. But James, Ahsoka is the savior of this galaxy that is far away. Well, don't get me wrong. I'm not hating Ahsoka. I'm not saying that. Like, I'm not watching Ahsoka and going, "Yeesh, guys, what is this?" Right? Should I be watching this or shouldn't I be? It's not quite like One Piece, right? Which we will get back into. We will continue the One Piece, but maybe not today. We'll see, because I want to get to that bonus chapters of Final Fantasy. What am I looking up? Jester trailer. This was 3 days ago, right? Halloween. Eduardo Sanchez. I guess I gotta switch over the audio there for you guys so you can hear some of it. I'm not going to watch all of it. It does look at first glance here a little B-movie-ish, a little Terrifier quality, but just fine. It's horror. I got no problem with that. James, you don't want to do that, otherwise your hair will look really weird for the rest of the day. Director of the Blair Witch Project. Which one? The newer one or the original one?
Wait, please.
Something about that looks familiar. Comes a new face of terror.
It is festering, gnawing at you. I know you can feel it. You try to bury it. But that rot is spreading, a decaying hole swallowing your heart.
Yeah. And we're going to get a jester type character in One Piece, aren't we? That's the way the first episode ended. The mask looks creepy. I don't know. It almost looks like it's filmed in 30 frames, not 24 frames. Which means that they probably shot it on a phone or something. I don't know. Interesting. What are people saying? really cool that they managed to make this short film into a full. And oh, it was based on a short film. Well, I respect that a lot. That people start off directing shorter films and then eventually get more work under their belts and make a full-length movie like this. Even though that this movie, full-length movie, is a lower budgeted film, you still get experience from it. You still get of working on sets, driving the machine of saying, okay, guys, we're setting up here. Let's try to get these shots today. Let's do this kind of thing, mentality, right? Here's what I need to compose this all later in the edit room. You work with that mentality, you get that experience. I champion that a lot. So for this kind of thing, this kind of a project, The Jester, it's kind of a hit for me, I would say. You know, it's not going to be like thespian acting or Shakespeare here, but what, you know, it's there, it's part of the community. So we say, all right. Well, thank you for bringing that to my attention there. This over. Let's talk about some more hit or miss headlines. Batgirl director says watching The Flash was a sad experience after what happened to their movie, that it got axed. Yeah. A lot of people called for The Flash to get axed. I understand the from this production photos that we saw of Batgirl, the costumes complaints, that it looked hokey, but I was still curious to see it because Michael Keaton's Batman showed up in it. I wanted to see how that was tied in. I heard reports that it was very TV movie-esque, very CW, and on the lower end of quality of the CW type stuff, which sucks. It does. And I can understand that. The directors, you just kind of have to roll with it, man. You can't keep on beating yourself up like this. You got to move on, which we'll do right now. The Strangers reboot trilogy may be complete. What? They shot all three films. Oh, that's right. They were going to shoot all three films together, right? Rennie Harlin returns to the horror genre with The Strangers reboot. It became a sequel trilogy and may be closer than you think. Now, this is the kind of storylines where it does fall into that classic trope of a rinse and repeat. Oh, the strangers go to a trailer park. Oh, the strangers go to a house this time. Oh, they go into an apartment complex this time. It's just they kill a different wave of people. I hope that there's a bigger arc there, that if this is a trilogy, this reboot, this Rennie Harlin reboot, that there's going to be a purpose for it to be a trilogy, right? Not just a rinse and repeat 3 times in a row, right? And to make it a trilogy, that means there has to be story arcs in there that go from the first film to the last film, right? Fans will be able to get an exclusive conversation with Rennie Harlin, producer, okay. In a podcast, shut your window, lock your door. They are coming. Get your first look at the Strangers trilogy at New York Comic Con with director Rennie Harlin. October 12th at 3 p.m. Okay. So you get your first look October 12th at 3 p.m. of The Strangers, Rennie Harlin. Back in the director's chair. He did things like Cliffhanger. The plot with Stallone. The plot of the new movie changes things up. Involves Petch's character as she drives cross country with her longtime boyfriend to begin a new life in Pacific Northwest. When the car breaks down in Venus, Oregon, they're forced to spend the night in a secluded Airbnb. There you go. As I said, just change up the location, where they are terrorized from dusk till dawn by 3 masked strangers. Lionsgate, just talked about that with The Crow, plans from there to be expanding the story into new and unexpected ways with its sequels. Well, good. And as I said, I hope my concerns of it just not being a rinse and repeat do get addressed, because that's something that kills the film right away. Is just a rinse and repeat. My mother instilled the love of movies in me through the world of Hitchcock. Okay, he's just talking about his love of film there. Interesting. I don't know. So New York Comic Con in October is when people will get our first look at it. Pay attention to the channel for that. I'll be covering that for sure. The end we start from teaser. Jodie Comer runs from a cataclysmic flood in Malaya's apocalyptic thriller. Benedict Cumberbatch.
Again?
Is this at TIFF? Oh, I think I saw Benedict Cumberbatch in the thumbnail for this. I didn't watch it. So yeah, we know that they're family.
Where am I?
Who is that, Mark Strong? That's Mark Strong, right? Why didn't you tell me that? I do like Jodie Comer.
Where am I?
Ooh. I'm getting a little bit of Children of Men vibe by the aesthetic of this. Like, it's the apocalypse. People are running from each other. There's limited resources. And then there's about child there, obviously, in comparison.
Where am I?
The end we start from. Fascinating. Huh. That's kind of a hit. It's got me intrigued, at least. Teaser trailer. The erosion of humanity. Yeah, there's lots. Whoops, sorry. There's lots to be explored there. A new mother, her partner Joel Fry. Their infant are driven out of London into the English countryside by cataclysmic flooding. Yeah. That one is interesting. That's a hit. What's next? Lorne Michaels, Dwayne Johnson among deals suspended at NBC this time started their cuts with shows because of the strike going on, guys. The pauses will impact not only a few remaining written-driven pods, but those non-writing producers who worked on them have been curtailed by the strike. Yeah, was it Young Rock show or whatever that he does? Okay. The sources tell that Universal Studios Group, which includes Universal's television, certain things have been suspended. We talked about J.J. Abrams and that other company getting their deal suspended. It's happening. And this is where it's starting to hurt the studios now. And it's part of the process that we have to be acknowledging, because this is going to start to give traction for them to get back into the negotiating room so that we can stop all of this stuff, which is bad PR. Because Hollywood Reporter and the trades will report this from a negative point of view, right? Of kind of like, well, hey, but you're the casual people will say, oh, you're getting rid of The Rock. Hey, I like that show. They're not really getting rid of them. They're just suspending it. Jamie Lynn Spears boards Dancing with the Stars. Really fascinating. Yeah, that also was splashed all over the place. I don't know. That's kind of a miss. I don't really want to talk about that. This one is also very interesting, though, too. WWE and UFC officially merged to form TKO Group. New stock to start trading. Well, that stock, if I had the funds for it, I would buy like that. Entertainment right now, it'll explode because UFC's big, WWE's big. Now that they're merged, guys, I would get on early on that one. At least that's my observation. Guys, don't come to me for financial advice. It's just kind of like, yeah. It's interesting to see that they're tied together. McMahon, and what was it? Dana something is the guy from UFC. Vince McMahon, former CEO, but I thought he was back under the CEO. Under the terms of the deal, McMahon, who was the controlling shareholder, still owns 16.4% of the. Yeah, I don't want to get too much into the details of the business side of stuff. The TKO's board members will be Vince McMahon as executive chairman, Wow, Mark Shapiro, President, CEO. Wow. Mark Shapiro. Isn't there a Shapiro in lead of the Blue Jays? American football. Yeah, he was in Blue Jays. Sports executive. What? Media executive. Okay, so there's two Mark Shapiros. Okay. It's not the Blue Jays guy. Okay. Anyway, that's a bit of a curiosity. All right, you're saying that a new trailer dropped in the chat there. Let's just see if the the trailer for the house. Oh, guys, we're watching this. This will be cut out. This will be cut out and posted up on the channel later. I don't care if it gets blocked. Whatever. Whatever. Why is that like that? Ready? The trailer. Oh, okay, hold on. Let's move it to this. Yeah. The trailer for the fall of the House of Usher, Mike Flanagan, has just dropped. Let's just take a look.
It's time. It's time. It's time.
Okay, so yeah, see the Raven there? That's because it's based on Edgar Allan Poe. And the story is based on an Edgar Allan Poe kind of thing. So it's going to be on Netflix, guys. We are going to watch this. Big cast, big Mike Flanagan fan.
Against them, the Usher crime
Oh,
stands
wow.
stronger and darker than ever before.
Anyone comes
Wow.
after us, we will exhaust our arsenal until the threat's neutralized.
By neutralized, you mean sued into oblivion on the
Luke
streets.
Skywalker,
Neutralized. Like
Mark
dead.
Hamill.
You guys, we really should get together more often. It's just a balm for the soul.
Oh, wow. And she was from Haunting of Bly Manor.
Your family is a collection of stunted hearts whose time has come.
We are watching this, guys.
Who are you?
Whole live watch-alongs here on the channel for this one for sure.
And tonight is consequential.
She's fantastic. A great actress.
I'm gonna head out. I've got an appointment with your dad.
Your brother's dead.
This is tragic, but a few "my heart will go on" tweets will pad it out.
Getting like Glass Onion vibes from this, right?
Targeted. This woman knows everything.
It's time, Roger. What did you do?
I'm afraid you're ringside for my reckoning, old friend.
I don't even own anything funeral black. Wait, that's not true. It's just fucking satin.
Satin is silk for poor people, and no one should wear it to a funeral unless they
That's
died in
Raul
it.
Coley, right? We'll take a look at the cast here in just a minute.
If we don't stop her, you won't have a family left.
Frankly, I think you've forgotten what I am.
Nevermore.
Carla is always fantastic. Nevermore. So he's tying a little bit of the Raven mythology into this as well, right?
The House of Usher.
Yeah.
May it rest in peace.
Wow. This looks slick. The fall of the House of Usher. October 12th. We'll be watching that for sure. On Netflix, guys. What did you guys think about that? New Mike Flanagan? Yes, please. Indeed. He is evil, yet his family is so diverse. Poor Poe. Yeah, and here's the thing about the story, The Fall of House of Usher. It wasn't that long. I think it was only like 3 or 4 pages at most. Carla Gugino, Kate Siegel was in this, and she looks great. Kate Siegel is his wife right there. She is like unrecognizable, right? That is Raul Coley, right? We'll take a look at the cast because it is a big cast. Use the IMDb, James. Don't use this. TV miniseries. Yeah, very glass oniony. Willa Fitzgerald, Carla Gugino, Mary McConnell looks great. Mark Hamill, Henry Thomas, Annabeth Gish, Bruce Greenwood. We've seen he's the main Roderick character. Who else? Yeah, Ro Coley. He's in this. He's also really good. Really good. Ruth Codd was in Midnight. Not Midnight. Was it Midnight Mass? That group movie. She's in that, and she was also really good. Tiana Miller. Yeah, that's who that is. She's fantastic. Cast just pops off the page. It does. And I think it's because they're all around the table there, kind of like trying to, at this manner, trying to figure things out. That's Ruth right there. Fantastic actress. She's going to be big. Yeah, kind of Knives Outy, and they're all there at the table to figure out some deal with the will, or so how things are going to get passed around and stuff like that. Mark Hamill in this, I think, is going to be it's like he's probably going to end up stealing the show, maybe, but it looks great. Yeah, and she's awesome. She was the highlight of Bly Manor for me. Did we see Annabeth Gish? Is it Annabeth or Annabelle? Annabeth. Did we see her in here somewhere? Probably. I'm just not seeing it. But as a teaser, guys, I thought that worked really well. Really creepy. How many episodes is this series? 8 episodes. So 8 episodes, October 12th, guys. We will be watching that here on Mirror Domains. A highlight for October for sure. I am stellar, like just locked onto this for sure. Good. Awesome. All right, guys. That's my reaction. If you like what you're seeing, we do a movie news show here live. This dropped live, so this is part of that big show where we do talk about a lot of big topics. So come join us for that. I'll see you next time on Mirror Domains. So that'll be cut out, guys. There was another trailer that dropped this morning. You said Totally Killer with Kiernan Shipka. We're not going to watch this one. Why are you doing wide mode for this? Stop that. I don't know anything about this one, so is it another Halloween-y kind of type thing?
No, Mom. You know how hard this time of year is for us. Your friends were murdered.
Oh, yeah. Oh, this one. This is where she goes back in time to solve a murder with her younger version of the mother, right? Like a little Happy Death Day-ish mixed with, like, Back to the Future.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Geez, they're not holding back with the swear words in these trailers, right? Because we saw that for The Fall of House of Usher, where they were swearing in that too. So that's the younger mother?
I don't know. Oh my God. Mom. Fuck off and die. Jesus, Mom. Mamacita. Ay. Ay, ay, ay. Mamacita.
Weird. So it's going to have a whimsical side to it. Okay. A little bit kind of like that Vince Vaughn movie that we watched where he switches body with the killer.
I need to stop all this horror before it happens.
The music is going to probably get me a slap on the wrists here. The mask, meh, looks generic. Maybe I'm not giving his fair shake by not watching the trailer. Got nothing against Kiernan Shipka. Totally Killer. The premise, cheeky enough. I don't know if it's going to be something that you want to watch in theaters. If it goes to theaters. New movie, October 6th. On Prime. Okay, so it's going to be on Amazon Prime. Well, I don't hate it. Any Blumhouse makes is usually pretty good. Usually. I'm looking forward to the new works. Yes, mom is the serial killer and dad the them boyfriend. Maybe, possibly. You should definitely check out the Goosebumps Don't Blink official teaser trailer, James. I didn't even see that listed. I don't really, I don't know anything about Goosebumps. I never watched the Jack Black thing. I know absolutely nothing. 5 days ago. Yeah, that was 5 days ago. Whatever. Well, that is what it is. And I am running over time today, guys. I am hungry. I do want my breakfast. So, hey, we'll have lots of time for this kind of stuff later tomorrow. Join me in about an hour and 12 minutes for the bonus chapters for Final Fantasy VII Remake. What do they call that? Intermission. The intermission chapters. Very curious about that. Other than that, I got nothing else more for you guys. Join us tomorrow for Ahsoka episode 5, and I'll see you tomorrow. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and I'll see you. Yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. Over on Twitch. That'll be over on Twitch, guys. Twitch. We'll be doing a lot on Twitch today because it's raining outside today. I can't get out for my walk. Well, it's not raining right now, but the skies are dark. All right. See you tomorrow. Thank you for joining me, Chris Schobert, Arglass Vikings, and Byford the Hobbit. See you next time.